It's almost time to rock out, and the stock market is open as well. So, ain't that a coincidence? We did this right when the stock market opened. The goal was about 9:15ish, but I was trying to find some information. But it's cool though. It's cool though. To all my people out there who do stock market channels, I appreciate you. I appreciate you a lot. Appreciate you a lot out there. So let's see as we get set up. Now that we live streaming, hopefully you can catch it. If you can't catch this in the morning, I understand because you're working. And we got to keep our workforce right. We got to keep that going. Okay, I got to refresh the computer. Hope y'all morning. Yesterday, I hope your holiday break was pretty good. Enjoyed your day off. Ooh, scratching, y'all. Ooh. Don't take scratching for granted. I did not take it for granted. I have like an alarm on my phone when it turns like 8 p.m. My phone's supposed to let me know it's scratch. I don't be doing it. I say for June 19th. Let's say June 20th. But we in here. Let's get our disclaimer up. And then we will get busy. You know, as my teammates say, let's rock out. Disclaimer, the videos presented here are for informational purposes only. And therefore, if you already choose an institution, please do your own research and consult with a specialist at that institution you are interested in. I am not a financial aid specialist, academic advisor, or representing any institution. Speaking on behalf of creator Henry is only speaking from his experience. I'm only speaking from experience. Please do not get me. I'm just giving my experience. Please follow up with specialists, somebody who works in an institution. So, first, we have credit scores drop. I thought that was interesting because this is like the second time I'm seeing it / hearing it. So, credit scores drop in the face of student loan collections per Chronicle of Higher Education. They said over 3 million people with student loans saw their credit scores drop by 100 points. Now, I'm not a big credit person myself, but I'm in a very capitalism mindset, right? So I've been using a little credit myself, right? But it says their credit scores dropped by 100%. I'm gonna keep reading before I come back to it. It says 100. It dropped by 100, not 100%, but 100 points or more in the first 3 months of 2025 because of garnishments and stuff. Right? It said according to the Federal Reserve Bank of New York data, that is shortly after the Biden administration last fall ended a repayment grace period, and just before the Trump administration last month restarted a collection process that can result in seized wages and tax refunds. So it's exactly like what it sounds like. We can speak on a lot of this because, all right, first and foremost, don't go to a college you can't afford. Now, all my people out there who did that, you was doing the best you could. Now it's a new era today with us. Don't go to a college you cannot afford because, man, like, I can't preach this no better, right? In my perspective, in my visual eyelids, right? And what I believe strongly is like you knew the consequences when you were going to take out this money to go to school. And you can't really fault nobody else but yourself. It's plenty of times I told numerous of people before I started live streaming, I told them like, look, you should start a 2-year, and for your best financial decision, you should start a 2-year because in the long run, you're going to have to pull out student loans. unless you just got the money. Like I tell you all, if you relying solely on Pell, your Pell is not finna your Pell is not finna cover you at a 6-figure school or more. If a school is more than 6 figures, that's just not how it's about to work. And people expected administration, because we're nonpartisan, right? But people expected an administration from people expected a last administration, the Biden administration. They expected them to cancel their student loans when they knew deep down that was not really possible. Some people got their student loans canceled. I remember one of my old supervisors at my job. She got her student loans canceled. Like she was never gonna pay them. She got them canceled. But it was like it's like they was starting with older people versus younger people. But you knew this was gonna come. And all my time in life, coming from poverty, I always had a mindset early that you really can't rely on the government. You shouldn't rely on the government, just being honest, because the goal of the government, in my eyes, and what I read from school, is that the job of the government is to do what's best for everybody. And when it comes to this, we all might have our perspectives. We all might have our beliefs. Excuse me. We all might have our own beliefs. Yes, Alexa, I know I should drink some water. We all have our beliefs, right? That canceling student loans is for everybody. Not really, but this is done on your choice. We sit here, we go through a lot of schools right now, just looking at it. If you've been watching this and you stay to the end, or you catch the end, or you just skip to the end and be like, I want to see what school he reviewed at the end, you notice that we review mostly universities, right? We might catch a 2-year, and the 1 2 year we did catch, it was expensive, right? Maybe expensive depending on that area it was in. And the universities are all expensive. Like some of them have good tuition prices, but if you stay on campus, it really doesn't matter if their tuition prices are good. But what I'm getting at is that before I look into this article, it's highlighting. Before I get into this article, it seems to be highlighting African Americans, because I can speak on my people because I am African American. But it seems to be highlighting African Americans, and we're gonna get into the meet and greet of all that. So once again, it said over 3 million people, and their credit scores dropped by 100 points. Now, somebody in, like I said, I'm military. We get financial counselors and stuff, right? And a financial counselor mentioned that we had some people, in the service that pulled out student loans, and they were affected by this too, because some people go to the military because they were trying to pay back their loans, which is normal, typical, nothing secret about it. And so they were hit by something like this too, because a lot of people said, oh, we don't got to pay our student loans back. Oh, I'm not paying them back. I don't got to worry about paying them back. Never listen. Just because they say, oh, you don't have to pay them back, you should have been paying them back while they were frozen. Because I'm sure, because I don't have student loans myself, but I'm assuming the interest rate didn't move on them, or the interest rate I heard a little bit of everything. Some people said interest rate went to zero. Some people said the interest rate didn't move. I don't know. I know you should have been paying them back if you are in this situation. But this is just more of a reason why, for all my people getting ready to go to college or currently in college, you should start at a 2-year and bridge to a 4-year, which is why I put all we do is win. Because when you start at a 2-year and go to a 4-year, you win. Like, I can't put it no simpler than that, because when I was at a 2-year, remember, I went through a pandemic. That was like the best time to be at a 2-year, man. It was like I struck gold. They was handing out money. I was saving. I was at home. It's like I missed the pandemic. And then all I did was sit in the house and play the game at that time. And then looking at some stocks before I really understood. Now, wish I could have took advantage of that heavy dip. But my time is going to come again, and I will be ready. And so, you just never know. Like, you should have had an idea this wasn't going to last long. And then I wasn't a big supporter of it, personally, because why should you be rewarded or why people should be rewarded for going to a school they couldn't afford, right? Taking out money that they knew they was gonna have to pay back, but life happens, didn't get the job they were supposed to get, or the job didn't work out. Now they can't pay back the student loans. Why should you get like a bailout, for not paying back your student loans? I just don't. That never ring and dawned on me correctly. I said we got a like, but I don't see nobody in the chat. That is crazy. Okay, I see somebody in here now. Okay, I was a little worried, making sure I wasn't lagging. So I just don't understand. Like, I just don't get that. Oh, what's up, G? You up early? What time zone are you on, G? It's early. I just don't get that. And so right here, I'm getting into the article. Like, once again, I go to this article by Chronicle Higher Education, and they said credit scores decline for millions as U.S. student loan collections restart. Now, once again, I see nothing but African Americans on this cover. And student loans is everybody, first and foremost. It's not just African Americans, it's everybody. But in this case, unpopular opinion, but I agree. You agree, right? And so it says right here in this article by Cora Lewis. She wrote this on June 16th, 2025. Remember, this is very opinionated website. This is AP News, but it still gives us some topic generators off of it. So it says right here at the beginning, millions of Americans are saying their credit scores suffer now that the U.S. government has resumed referring missed student loan payments for debt collection. It says after the 90-day of non-payment, student loan servicers report delinquent or past due. And I remember people on LinkedIn were saying, like, I don't know how they're going to get their money. It doesn't make, I'll be up really early. They said, I remember people on LinkedIn said, I don't know how they're going to get their money because I'm not going to pay it. And then you got to remember, people see these comments. If they work for the government, the feds, anything, they see these comments. Then you see a short post by the Department of Education saying, oh, we'll garnish your paycheck. Then it's like, oh. And I've seen that happen before. I remember one guy, he was going to the University of Louisville, and he joined the military because school didn't work out, and he was mad. He had just started making his real money with the military, of course, and then he got garnished for student loans, and it was like fast. He was mad. He was hot. And so that was years ago though. And so they will come get their money. And this is why I say start at a 2-year if you don't have the money, because college is changing, man. It's going to be a time where it's probably like this now, right, for many, that it doesn't really matter what school you go to. Many don't really care. But and then again, a lot do care still. It's like, for me, I feel like it's even a little bit still, because I've seen places that really strive on that, and I've seen places that don't really care about it. It's like, it just depends on who's coming across the information, right? Because we're humans at the end of the day. So it says the Federal Reserve Bank of New York reported that in the first 3 months of 2025, 2.2 million student loan recipients saw their scores drop by 100 points. An additional 1 million saw it drop by 150 points or more. So you gotta think, imagine everybody who's like a doctor, lawyer, a real prestige position out there, right, in one of these career fields, and they just saw their credit score drop instantly. It says college still worth it even for a 2-year, so why not just do a 2-year? Let me see what G said, make sure I read that right. College is still worth it even though it's still worth it even for a 2-year, so why not just do a 2-year? Exactly, G. That's how I feel too. And it's a lot of speculation, because I sat and I spoke to families, G. I went and spoke to families before I started live streaming. I used to go talk to families for free. And a lot of times a lot of things I didn't like was that the parents were letting the student make the decision, which was a bad idea because the student don't have financial literacy. So they're thinking like, oh, I'll be good, I got a scholarship. And we talked about that in the live stream before. A scholarship is just a discount. You still gotta, if you get like, I heard students say, oh, I got a $7,000 scholarship. Now, I never did ask them, was it, hey, are you gonna have this scholarship again next year, or is this a one-time scholarship? And they be like, I don't know. You don't know if your scholarship is going to be like, because when you get $7,000 scholarship, that can be rinse and repeated. But I think most of the time it was just a one-time scholarship. But definitely it wasn't strategic on how they should navigate going through college. And then we got Alice Marie. Good morning. Happy first day of summer. Is it really the first? It's not first day of summer, Alice Marie, is it? And then G said, I was just saying, rather than going into deep debt. Yeah, that's the whole. G. We know you support the movement, and so we have to sometimes remind people because people are still right now. We have a whole what high school graduating class just graduated 2025. Man, time flies. 2025 just graduated, and they have a lot of them. I'm pretty sure who are going to go to universities, go down the same rabbit hole, unless they find this channel, and then they can save themselves. And so, what we at right now? 16 minutes. We doing very good right now. We got some more comments. I love the comments right now. I got to give y'all some love real quick. I love the comments. I love the comments. Oh, it's actually the first day of summer. Oh, wow. I didn't, what? Oh, man. Every time I hear summer, I'm thinking it starts in June. I thought it started in May, honestly. But don't let me guide you all on that. I'll do bad with stuff like that. I got a 4-year scholarship for all the schools I applied to. And yeah, it's actually the first day of summer. G with the scholarships. I never got one scholarship, G. Can you believe that? When I was coming out of school, even in college, I got one scholarship, G, when I was in college. It was at my 2-year. You wanna know how I got that scholarship? I got that scholarship because my professor recommended me for it. That's the only reason I got that scholarship. I didn't even apply. My professor just recommended me. And I was like $500, but which was good at that time for my college, but I didn't use it for that. They gave that to me in, I think, a check. And I'll tell you exactly what I did with it. I put it with my financial advisor, $250, and the other $250 I used for personal stuff. I bought some shoes that I still have. I never got a scholarship either. I just now got one in grad school. Shout out to Alice Marie. What type of scholarship was it, Alice Marie, if you don't mind us asking? And so as I keep scanning through here, I did want to talk about this. When I come to the cover page and they're talking about student loan collections restart, and you have African Americans saying cancel student debt, because if you know me, guys, and one thing I'll speak on this channel, I can never speak about another demographic because I'm not that demographic. But one demographic I can speak on the hardest or the best about is my culture, which is African Americans. And I don't like how they're using African Americans as the front face of like cancel student debt, because I don't like it, because it's always like African Americans suffer the most with student loan debts. And I just don't get that. Like, I get that they probably are, but when I research things like in graduate school, matter of fact, I know that all the research is supposed to be done about African Americans because there is not a lot of information on African Americans. That's gonna go away before I touch it. Okay, I took it away. There is not enough information about African Americans on, like, I hear medical, of course, finances, not enough resources for us, right? And in today's time, I had a disconnect when I talk with my classmates, because they feel like there's still not enough resources, but I tell them, like, I disagree, because in this time we had the internet. I learned all my financial literacy through the internet, and I went to the bank because I'm pretty sure they're not gonna turn me around because of my skin color. I went to the bank. Well, I ain't go to the bank. Scratch that. I was saying that I went to the bank, but I was about to say I went to the bank and got information from my financial advisor. But my professor actually brought the financial advisor to the classroom, which is some game. When I was at my 2-year college, my university didn't do that. Now, I think if you go to a bigger school, they'll do that. But bringing a financial advisor to the classroom, that's different. And I took advantage of that opportunity. So Alice Marie said, Alice Marie said a $5,000 scholarship from the Taco Bell Foundation. Oh, that's what's up. I like that. I love that. That's actually a 100. That's not even a love. That's a 100. And then G said, yeah, scholarships are hard. I saw my friends working hard, really hard because there was just so much competition. Right. It's so much competition. And we all can relate. I told students, as we're talking to each other right now, y'all, I told students in the classroom, when I spoke in the classroom in my city, I told the students, like, when you compete for scholarships or when you're competing to go to college, you're not competing. It's funny that all this stuff is coming to light. Hopefully they remember this. Um, I told them, you're not competing with just kids in America. You know that, right? You're competing with kids from around the world. And I think that didn't register at the time for them. Like, when you want this scholarship, there's somebody, depending on how the scholarship is, of course, it's wrote up that this scholarship can go to somebody in a different country who is coming to the U.S. And it's a lot of competition. And like I said before, people in different countries take pride in their education. Education is a must. Even if they don't use it, they gotta get it. That's how it's portrayed. Every time I talk to somebody from a different country, they're like, yeah, we have to get it, because if we don't get it, it's like ignorant is bliss, right? And so G said the problem I found when I was coming out of high school was that there was a lot of information, but it was all scattered. Yeah, like it's like you want to put all the information into one place, right? That's how I felt too, G. Like the information is hard to put together unless you work in higher education. That's what made me so good at navigating higher education, because I was getting information from professionals. And so I knew exactly where to go to get information. Exactly. It's all scattered. And you have professionals out here, they're trying to make tools, but they don't understand like really how simple it is to go to college. It's simple, really. You just really have to pass by a lot of information that's really unnecessary. Oh, don't get me on the financial aid. Oh, don't get me on that, G. Even at Columbia, navigating financial aid, all depending on what financial aid officer you talk to on what day. I'm not laughing at you, G. I'm laughing with you if you were laughing with that, because that is so true. So I can relate to that real quick. My financial aid specialist, the one I have now, he helped me with my financial aid. Let me tell you something. My financial aid specialist that was at my 2 year, he helped me at my 2 year course. He helped me at my 4 year, and he even helped me. He didn't help me at graduate school because I knew I didn't need it, but he even helped me with my university one, because all he needed is my information. And so, because I didn't trust nobody else with financial aid, because I know financial aid is something you learn on the job, unless you can go to school for it. I never looked up a school and see if you can go to school for financial aid, but he learned everything on the job, and he is dope. And of course, like I said, when we better the equipment, your boy get a better job, hopefully get a job, consistent income to turn to the business and upgrade. He definitely will be on the top for like 30 minutes and answer some questions, because financial aid is so not true. It's ridiculous. Right. Hold on, what you talking about, G? You said not true. Oh yeah, no true. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Like you have to keep that financial aid officer, that same one who, especially if they know the information, and not to get sidetracked. I don't like how they're angling African Americans as the ones who want the student debt council. I'm pretty sure they do, but I think everybody wants the student loan debt council. I don't think it's just one demographic. But I do think, once again, this information is out here. Like, we have this YouTube channel. Make sure you share this with some people, man. Share this with some people. Like, we talk about this. And like, it would help a lot of people who got younger siblings, who got people getting ready to go to college, or people who are currently in college trying to navigate this, right? And so, credit scores. So a lot of them are not going to be able to, like, once again, they pulled out all this money. It's going to be hard to get a house. It's hard to get a house now. It's going to really be hard to get a house. It's going to be hard to start a family. It's going to be hard to get a car. It's going to be hard. I was just watching this guy on YouTube. His stuff is fact check. My brother introduced it to me, and I just closed it out. I just closed out his YouTube channel. But I think his name is Johnny Harris, I want to say. I'm going to go look it up, because this guy YouTube video was pretty good. But he was breaking down like all the economic stuff, like how pay has been stagnant and CEOs been getting more. It was very good, and I want to mention his name because he is pretty respected. He's respected, and he fact checked everything. All his information was fact checked. So where is it? It's not over there. I want to find it right quick and give him his shout out. I didn't subscribe to him. I feel so bad. I feel so bad. Oh yeah, I know Johnny. Oh, you know Johnny too? Okay. I guess I did. Yep, Johnny Harris. Okay, Johnny. It was Johnny. Okay, I hadn't said it right. And so yeah, Johnny was dope. And as we keep going, I feel like that's pretty much it on it. I could go longer and more, but I want to talk about something else. So unless you all have some topics to talk about, he ran into a little controversy a while ago, but I think he's come back from it. Okay. And then before we get into that talk, G, because I don't want to go down that rabbit hole, I was going to say what happened, but don't tell me, G, don't tell me. So congregational Republicans want to end grad plus loans. How might it affect your campus? So y'all know how I feel about loans. Grad plus loans, right? They tried to get me to take out some grad plus loans. It was a cold call. I mentioned this before, but I didn't go in depth on it. I got cold called by a third party on behalf of Georgia State University. It's nothing against Georgia State University because they need revenue. When students get loans, it's called the preferred lender arrangement. I talk about it a lot because unless you're going to take out the grad plus loan, that's federal though. Grad plus loan should be federal, but loans is loans. It is federal. Grad plus federal student loan program. And so they tried to get me to take out loans. And the guy said that I complete my financial aid, which is a code name for did you do it so you could take out loans. Getting cold called about taking out loans while trying to go to school to make it seem like this going to help my education when it's really going to hurt me is wild. Pretty much I told him that I'm covered. I'm good. And so I guess he heard those key words like, oh, okay, ain't nothing else to say because he got to make other phone calls. Those grad plus loans count as revenue toward the institution. That's why I really don't say, I say things about loans, but at the same time, it's like the college need it because they, as we talk about, they're way over their head. And right here, they have some schools who rely heavily on the grad plus loan as part of their revenue. Like one school right here, is this the name of the school? Yes, it's called A.T. Steele University of Health and Sciences. It's a nonprofit graduate only school, I believe. And they have 1965 recipients for it. And the disbursements of $119 million. This is 52% of their revenue, for example, right? Like 52% of your revenue. So if the Trump administration takes away the grad plus loan, that school is going to hurt significantly. And so we're going to start seeing, I did say we're going to start seeing schools shut down. Not like big schools, of course, but more like those schools that are like, not your state schools, because I don't know. I doubt state schools, but like schools that are like, you might have 2 or 3 schools in the city you're from. If you're from like me, I'm from a semi-small city, I would say. Like, not small, but not the biggest, semi. And so we have one state college where I'm from. And like that college won't end because for one, we need people in the city to go to that state college. But then again, if you want to cut the resources off from people so they don't be educated, you would try to get that college to close down. But I don't think the college will close down like that. I think it's going to be these other schools that are like just, what school is that? Unless it's a state school. And there's multiple schools on here. One school, Western University of Health Science, nonprofit, graduate only. They rely on 2,200 recipients, and they rely on this as 44% of their revenue. And the grad plus loans, I just feel like students don't need to take out loans. Like if you take it out, you can pay it back. That's just how I feel. That's how it's always gonna be. because once again, we got people now, their credit score is dropping. And then it's not even guaranteed your income is going to go up once you graduate college. Like, it's not even guaranteed. And so apparently, congregational Republicans appear to set to effectively shut down the 20-year-old grad plus federal student loan program as House and Senate lawmakers seek passage of a spiraling set of budget cuts. Now, what's the bill for this? Is there a bill or are they just trying to slice it? That's the question I want to know. It says right here, legislation forwarded to the Senate by House Republicans and largely affirmed by the Senate Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions Committee proposed reconciliation language would see the Grad Plus loan program, which had been expected to lend out roughly $19 billion annually between 2026 to 2020. No, that ain't even 2020 no more. That's 2026 to 2034. Phased out for new borrowers starting in 2026-2027 academic year. The program would eventually be mothballed. Mothballed. That's a new one. For all borrowers starting in the 2029-2030 academic year. Wow, that's so far out. Like, power moves, right? They think it's so far out. I always get fascinated by that. So, how y'all feel about the grad plus loans? Have you ever had to take out grad plus loans, anybody? I know we got Alex, Marie, and G in the chat. Did you go to grad school, G? And Alex Marie? Well, Alex Marie said for grad school, so we know she in grad school. What about you, G? Are you in grad school by chance? As we keep going, the fallout. So right here, we got a quote. Who is this quote by? Ortega. So increasingly, graduate degrees are required to enter or advance in a profession. In fact, entry-level jobs requiring master's degrees are expected to grow by 17% through 2026. That is true. In my career field, a lot of my jobs, because I'm in higher education, a lot of the jobs that I'm applying to, like, one of my jobs is to be like, guys, when this is not working, or, this will work, I just gotta give it time. But in the meantime, to be like an academic advisor. To be an academic advisor, for example, they are requiring you to have a master's degree in this related field. And so now, granted, in this career field, this is a liberal arts career field, higher education. Critical thinking, like everything you're going to learn is going to be within inside the job as you go and elevate. But they're saying like it's going to grow by 17%. Like entry level jobs are going to require a master's degree. And I say that. I say that all the time. Like it used to be a high school diploma, but now it's like, oh, for some jobs, they like, you need you to have a associate's degree. And then I'm thinking like, then again, as the future keeps going, the other jobs that say associate's degree, they're going to be like, you need a bachelor's. And then they're going to be like, oh, you need a master's. Then it's going to be like, it might start getting like, oh, you need a bachelor's, then you need some certificates behind it. And then it's going to raise the value of college. And people are going to still, you're going to have those people out there that's like, you don't need to go to college, go get a certificate, da-da-da-da. Then it's like, okay, what if the job don't work out? I know people like that. What if the job doesn't work out? Then what I'm going to do then? I don't have no education. I don't have no real skill set, because eventually the certificate is pointless, because the other company like Google might say they want you to have a degree, unless you just that, as I like to say, unless you just that guy or that girl, and they be like, oh, you don't need a degree, we'll make an exception. But they not gonna do that for everybody, because that's just not the way things work. And they got that information from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, which I be there a lot. I be on that website a lot. Let's see what G said. G, you didn't tell us if you was in graduate school. You did not answer my question at all. It's okay though. I'm not mad at nothing. So G said, is that the new one? That's the new comment? Okay. That was Google back in 2017. And so G said, I only know people who paid for their masters. I was lucky enough to get into a field where I don't even need a high school diploma if you could do the work, LOL. Oh, okay. So G, apparently you stopped at your bachelor's, it sounds like. And you was like, I don't really need a master's unless I want to get one. That's what it's coming off as. I could be wrong though, G. You could be getting your master's, which is dope. G said, I only know people who pay for their masters. Yeah, I know a lot of people too. I'm one of them. I'm paying for mine too. It's gonna be right. G, should it be up or down? I don't know if I want it below my bachelor's. I don't too much care for my bachelor's. I care about these. These my associate's degrees. But it's gonna be one of these. It's gonna be one of these. It's gonna be above one of them. I don't know which one yet, but whichever one when it gets here. You know, then they got the nerve not to send your degree, like your actual degree, right away. Like print it off. Just have it at the school so I can go pick it up. I waited like 2 or 3 weeks, I think, to get this. I got the content on it. I was waiting for it. I was upset. Like in my 2 year, I got it right away. Just saying. In my 2 year, I got it right away. And G said, I love these comments, man. I love these comments. These comments are good. These comments are good. I love these comments. Think about it. I only considered it when I was thinking about being a professor. That was when that is when I learned not all PhD programs are not free. Huh. About being a professor. Being a professor is wild. You know, I wonder how it is to being a professor. You know, sometimes I do think about that. Sometimes I do. But grad plus loans, they should end them. And so some conservative lawmakers argue that grad plus and uncapped financial aid programs like it reduce the pressure on universities to keep down tuition costs. Hold up, what? Wait, what? How y'all phrase that? I was going to get a PhD in computer engineering. You in computers? You must be like a wizard in computers, G. You gotta be like a wizard in computers. Like if I got computer questions, G, I bet you work from home, don't you? I bet you work from home with those computer skills. I know all people in tech, they work from home. I bet you work from home, G. It's okay if you don't want to answer, but I think you work from home. Like, I'd be jealous of the computer field. They be like, yeah, I work at home, trying to get here, you know, call somebody up who's in the tech field. I know they be like, yeah, I'm at home, working on this, doing this. What's up, though? I'm like, ain't you working? Yeah, but, you know. So, computers, you know, y'all might can get me one day, but I don't know. I think I'm too late in the game. Maybe my future kid would be in the computer field. Now, I was reading this. I don't know if y'all heard me real quick. If G answered that question, we'll keep looking. They said some. G said, okay, real quick if I keep going. And they say you should go to another school, but I was going to go to Columbia because, yeah, LOL, I do. See? See? You see what I'm saying? Yeah, I bet you do. See? G works from home. All computer. I'm not jealous or nothing. Slightly, I'm just slightly jealous a little bit. But and G said right here before we keep going, they say you should go to another school, but I was going to go to Columbia because I just so happened to at the time work in the department. Oh, and you worked at Columbia too? Oh yeah, I don't blame you. I know a lot of people do that in my master's program. They work at Georgia State and they go to Georgia State, doing their masters, and some people getting ready to do their PhD. Tech was doing that return to office stuff too, though. Uh-oh. No, you didn't like that. And so some conservative lawmakers argued that grad plus, this right here, then I ain't like the way they phrased this sentence. They said some conservative lawmakers argued that grad plus and uncapped financial aid programs like it reduce the pressure on universities to keep down tuition costs for graduate education. That don't make no sense. That don't make no sense. I'm gonna put it in here for y'all to break down. That doesn't make sense to me because graduate tuition costs for graduate, no, it's steadily rising. Graduate school rise like crazy. They just raised it again on me. like undergrad and graduate school. I'm gonna put that in there. It didn't affect me, but it did affect a lot of my friends. I work for myself. Boss move. That's a boss move, G. Just in case you don't hear me say it, that's a boss move. G said, I work for myself. I respect it. That's what I'm trying to get. Boss move. That's gonna be our thing in here. Every time somebody say I work for myself, it don't affect me or something that just boss, I'm gonna just say boss move in the chat. Every time, I'm just gonna say boss move in the chat. I just got to. All right. We say boss move. That's a boss move for real. I like that. I love that. So I put that in the chat. I don't know if y'all saw it. I don't know if y'all saw it, but it didn't really ring with me because if it didn't make sense because if students are going to put out grad plus loans and they need the money for college, they just need the money for the price. That means schools, let me stay on top of here. That means schools, yeah. That means schools could just raise the tuition how they want to raise it because they know they're going to get the money guaranteed from the grad plus loans. Like, that don't make sense. Because if the student's saying, I need this grad plus loan to pay for school, that never stops school. School's gonna constantly rate. That didn't make sense. It don't make sense. Like just going down the rabbit hole, it don't make sense with that. And it's okay though, because they trying. You have to know a little bit about a little bit. These, the people who probably wrote this, yeah, he just data. 9 times out of 10, he probably didn't work in higher education, which is not, can't blame him. He's a writer. But he just writing on what he looking at on data. I can't even get mad at him. But right here, they gave us an example. So right here it says the institutions that rely most heavily on the Grad Plus program in terms of share of revenue are single focus, freestanding law schools and training programs for health professionals. Yeah, we said that. Law and health, they like the most expensive programs in America. Whew, they like most expensive. For example, graduate level teacher preparation and MBA programs, while not as heavily populated by grad plus borrowers as law or medical schools, still rely considerably on the federal loan program. Yeah, because most people, it starts from the beginning. It starts from the beginning. Like, if you just getting like a teacher level preparation degree, an MBA, for example, like they said, it starts from the beginning. If you started at a university your first 4 years that was too expensive, you exhausted all of your like financial aid, right? So when you exhausted all your financial aid, you're going to need more financial aid, of course, in loans when you go get your master's. If you didn't have it in undergraduate, most students don't go get a job. In today's world, it's crazy. Students don't go get jobs after their bachelor's. For some reason, they just say, hey, I'm going to go keep going and go get my master's and pull out more loans. And I'm like, that's wild. Because in some cases, your job might pay for your master's. They might, like usually. And then G said right here, that's just because more students are more likely to apply if they programs exist. Hmm. 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 Yeah, that's true. Yeah. And now we seeing program cuts. Some programs are getting cut. A lot of programs might be getting cut. But schools won't post that. They don't post that. You gotta go dig for that information. Uh-oh, we got some more from you. Got some more from G. It said message retracted. I'm starting to realize when they say message retracted, that means it got edited. Let's wait. Let me see. Hold on, G. They didn't show your comment yet. I'm gonna give it time. I can see it right here though. That's because more people are more likely to apply if these programs exist than otherwise. And if there are less students, then tuition will have to increase. Come on, show up on my screen. It won't show up on my screen. I'm gonna refresh my control room so I can see that comment. That was a good comment. Like I said, I show love to the comment section. That's what makes the chat. See, we get to bounce these ideas off each other. We had G right here who used to work at Columbia. See, he used to work and go to school there. We got Alice Marie if she's still in here. She's been very quiet. She's just been spectating us right now. So as I wait on that to come back up, where we at? 46 minutes. Dang, y'all, we almost at an hour already. We almost at our time. We are almost at our time. Let's see if it's gonna upload. Cause they'll comment when it show G. Always going through technical. There you go. So G said that's because more people are more likely to apply if these programs exist than otherwise. And if there are less students than tuition would have to increase to compensate for less students. That makes sense. That makes sense. If it's less students, you'll have to increase the tuition for the less students you don't have. Yep. Right? And that's why I tell students they're so powerful, right? Students are so powerful. I had came across an article, I don't know if you caught this one, G or Alice Marie. I had talked about in the last live stream yesterday about students footing the bill for sports. Literally, it was in the article per Chronicle Higher Education, right? They was talking about how I think the school is Western Virginia. It's like WV. It's the blue and gold or yellow and blue school, navy blue school. I know them in football for accuracy. That's how I remember a lot of schools. And so, but they said they're raising their student fee by $125. The student fee alone. And so I always told people like, I never could prove it. It is weird it's coming to light now. I just always say it's weird that it's coming to light because I used to always say like, I know donors donate money. Don't get me wrong, donors donate money. But I'm like, I don't think they use that money. They use probably some of it. It all depends on the school. But I'm like, I know they don't use all this donor money for athletics. It's just not like, I think they use it for like, we talk about president salaries, executive salaries, upgrading the football team locker room. Like when Deion Sanders had upgraded the locker room. That is 100% students obviously do cover the athletic. Oh, G, you just made my day, G. Oh, I never had nobody who could actually agree with me on that. Oh, Alice Marie said, yeah, I'm listening. I'm at work. Word. I appreciate y'all tapping in with us while we at work. I really appreciate that. G said that is 100% students obviously do cover the athletic departments. Wow. Wow. Crazy. So when people play this back, y'all, hey, donated large sums of money usually have specific purposes. Right. That's how I be feeling too, G. Like, cause when I worked in the alumni department at my university school, Valdosta, they used to get like large sums of money, but it was always a purpose behind the large sums of money, like where this money's supposed to go, because it's the donor's money. They probably want this. Like if it's a donor who says, hey, I want a new stadium or whatever, they ultra rich, hey, then they get a new stadium. So that's why sometimes I like, but definitely like, yeah, students paying for that stuff. And then they have the nerve to charge the students to go to games in certain sports. They don't even get to go for free. Some schools will still charge the students, which is crazy. And so we go into our last one real quick. All we do is win. All we do is win. This is not an article. This is more just like a little stuffy still, y'all. I'm getting better. I'm draining. I'm doing real good. Um, it goes into luckily Columbia did it. That's right. Oh look, Columbia they didn't what? They didn't what, G? Oh, oh, they didn't do that. Oh, you saying they didn't? Columbia didn't charge students, but you didn't really go to games. Yeah, when I don't know. For me, when I was in college, I know we about to talk about all we do is win. I ain't forgot. When I was in college or still in college, like I told my girlfriend now though, yeah, charge for games. Yeah, I figured that's what you was talking about. I told my girlfriend I do want to go to one game because it's a kid from our city. He plays Division One. He should be playing Division 1 basketball this year at a school, and we're in the Sun Belt Conference at Georgia State, and so we should play that school conference game, and so I do want to check that out. But I'd be amazed how everybody balance like going to games and partying and still doing schoolwork. I don't know if they GPA reflects it, but I'd be like, me, I can't. I'd be focused. I'll sit here for hours like researching. Like I got school this fall. I'll be sitting here for hours just researching. And I got two cool classes coming up this fall. I got the American Community College, and it's an organizational structure, kind of like what I do now when I talk about how the execs make money, the athletic directors. I'm gonna take a class on that, and so that's gonna be interesting. Man, all we do is win. When you start at a 2 year and you bridge to a 4 year, all you do is win. It's hard to lose, right? You save $10,000 and more. Um, when you at the 2 year, man, you just get a different type of. I feel like me personally, because I took it serious. I didn't just because of this school right here. I had a friend who played basketball and a friend who played football. So every once in a while, yeah, every once in a while, right? It's like it just fades away as you get older a little bit. And so, at least for us, G. So this school right here, shout out to them. They always get free advertisement from me, but they never pay me for the advertisement. It's crazy. But um, this school, I took it serious. I'm just talking, right? I took it serious because they had some values. Like they had some real good values, like core values, like show up to class on time, blah blah blah, some other stuff. Dress to impress. At a time before the pandemic, when going to class dressed up, not dressed up, but just casual, business casual, was a thing. Because I feel like my generation, Gen Zers, they just go to class any kind of way. There's no professionalism behind it. I feel like there should be some professionalism, right? You can dress how you want to dress, don't get me wrong, but I was raised, my mom, first and foremost, raised me like dress to impress because your first impression is everything. She always said that, and she wasn't even a business, she was a hustler. She wasn't no business person by far. She was, but more of a hustler. And so she just said always like, you don't want people to know how you gonna look in street clothes pretty much. Like when you dress down versus when you wear a button up. We should bring back Sperry's LOL. Sperry's is crazy. The boat shoes, not the boat shoes. Not the boat shoes. And so when I was at the 2 year, I dressed to impress. I shook hands with a lot of professionals at the 2 year. That I still, if I need a letter of recommendation, they got their PhDs. And these people went to very good schools. Like some went to UGA, some went to HBCUs. Some of these people are, they make big dollars, right? Big dollars in their career field. And so it helped me in that regard with not with the Nike socks, Lord, not with the Nike socks. No, Sperry's and Nike socks, no. No, that was not the move. Nike socks, but Sperry's is crazy. And so I just always got to go back to the 2 year though. That's where it started. I paid, well, I said my tuition was like $1,200 with the fees $1,500. I paid $3,000 a year for college. Like that's such a big difference from somebody else who is paying like 12 grand for 2 semesters, right? That's 24 grand. And I was paying 3 grand a year just to, that didn't even cover all my Pell. You know, like my Pell, it didn't cover, I said that wrong. That didn't even max out my Pell. Because you get 7 grand for Pell. That's still gonna be the same, you know, since they took that out. The Senate took that out. So it's still gonna be max 7 grand in Pell, which is good, and 12 credit hours. And if you part-time, you still can get your Pell or your financial aid. You know, if you're in a different state, we call it secondary. And so, but most of all, and you generate a lot of cash flow. You know, as I tell people, when you look at certain schools, like, don't get me wrong, I know people not going to sit down and go look at the balance sheet or the revenue driver of a college. I get that. Because the college still going to be there. It's not like a stock or a company, right? You know, a company cannot be there if they revenue and cash flow not looking right. But a school going to be there. But the bad part about the school that's not generating cash flow, revenue, right? They're going to have to raise their tuition, like G said. They're going to have to raise the tuition, right? And then more students find out, because students are the power of the school. And, you know, people like me keep talking about this and they get savvy enough. They're going to be like, what school I should go to, Henry? Then school's going to reach out to me and be like, hey, da-da-da. I'm like, I don't know, because I only want to support the schools that are affordable. I don't want to support schools that are not affordable. And then, you know, I'll support private schools too, because like I said, private schools, I got nothing against private schools. Private schools, if y'all been running this long and doing good, hopefully you're doing good, you private, what can I say? You know, all I can say is like, look, you know, if you go to a private school, it's going to be more expensive, flat out. And we got a private school person right now, Ivy League, in the chat, and he'll tell you, hey, it's gonna be more expensive, even though he didn't foot no bill, because he was that guy coming out of high school. He said they were paying me to come. He always got the boss moves in there. He wait till I get a button for that. I'm gonna be like, boss move. I don't know what it's gonna say, but it's always gonna be like, cause G be saying some boss move stuff when I replay it in my head. I be like, oh, that's boss move right there. G said they were paying me to come. That's how I was approaching it too. When I was going to my university or picking a university, I was like, I wasn't getting paid. They wasn't paying me, but I was like, well, they were with the refund check. But I was more like, who got the better prices? Then I say, well, who can help me get a return on investment? Who gonna help me get a job when I get out? So, right here, Columbia definitely took, don't mind my finger, guys. Columbia definitely took student option into account. That's part of the reason they had ran into a lot of controversy, LOL. That's part of the reason they had ran into a lot of controversy. And we talked about that in graduate school. You gotta know when to balance it, you know when to listen to your students, because you know your students might, they'll jump off that bridge in a heartbeat. They'll go to the ends. So we at our end pretty much, guys. So we gotta review a school, and I like to pick a school. Usually when I read through articles or briefs, I say newsletters, mostly newsletters, because article. When I think of an article, a journal article in school, that's like 10 or 12 pages. Whew. Not looking forward to that. 10 to 12 pages every week. Man, you cannot say graduate school don't prep you, though. I cannot say that, because that graduate school gets you right. Let's see, what college is it here? I know I seen one college. They talked about some Florida colleges. This school right here, they said they're not going to be doing international recruiting no more. But I don't know how to pronounce their school. Yes, I do. I think it's Valencia College. Do I want to do Valencia? Do y'all have a college y'all want to say in the chat, since y'all been commenting so well? I appreciate the comments, y'all. The comments and the likes go far, because that's what gets the video, like YouTube pushes the video out, the live stream out more. You know, even if somebody watches it for a little bit, it still helps that they clicked on it, right? So I appreciate the likes and I appreciate the comments. Like these comments help a lot. And so I do want to ask, what school do you want to review? Do y'all have a school y'all want me to review, look at the tuition, and then be like, would I go there? Cause it could be a 2-year, it could be a 4-year. Yeah. Do y'all have any schools? I know y'all in here, because if y'all leave me right when I ask this question, we're gonna have some problems. Well, fictionally, not non-fiction, fictional. Do you all have some schools in mind before I pick? I know it takes time for it to hit the chat, so I'm gonna give the chat a few minutes, a little few minutes while I keep looking for a school. So where's no real preference? Okay. Let's do. I was on UC Berkeley website yesterday, and I could not find their tuition and fees to save my life. Ohio, Ohio State, Ohio. I think it's only one Ohio. It's a multiple Ohio schools, but let's see. Ohio colleges. You got Ohio College. Let's see. U.S. News and World Report. They alright. I never really too much care for them, but oh, y'all are not even telling me what schools y'all think I'm trying to go to school here. No, I'm not trying to go to school there. It's out of state. We'll probably do we'll just do Ohio State University. Didn't they win like a national championship or something? People might get on to me about that. I think they just won like a national championship, if I'm not mistaken. We'll do Ohio State University. Then we'll do probably Ohio another day. Because Ohio State is very popular. And I know a lot of kids probably gonna go to Ohio State. I have a friend at UC Berkeley in their PhD, MD program. Okay. How are the prices out there for now? G. Look at this. Ohio State got a beautiful stadium. Oh my goodness. Man, I can't wait to show you all. Like when I start like where you can see me like when I'm showing you stuff like on social media, playing clips. Like I still play clips. We just can't see it. Y'all can hear it. This stadium is amazing. Oh my. And then first thing, you wanna know what's funny? The first thing when I type in Ohio State, the college, Ohio State University, their football comes up. Not academics, not nothing else. Football. It's crazy. Well, for him, free because PhD, MD programs at most schools that offer them are free. Okay. Okay. Well, what you mean, G? G, hold on. Tell us something. Keep going. Hold on, G. You might be onto something. Hold on. Keep going real quick. Well, for him, you said for him, free because PhD and is that California? And G, when you say for him, are you saying because he's doing the PhD and MD program, that's why it's free? Like most schools will give it to you for free in that case, like you know, PhD, MD programs are highly selective and tend to be free. Huh. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Yeah, if you do both, yes. We didn't know that. I didn't know that. If you do both, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I would definitely follow up on that. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Most popular is Harvard, but there are others. I will say this: learning with you all and researching stuff with you all on the live screen, I learn a lot. I learn a lot. Like when I go back to class this fall, like August, like I actually been looking up schools and like can really been in articles, what's been going on with topics, like what's hot. Like it's gonna be real easy to write about stuff on these discussion boards. Like my professor, like it's gonna be exciting. I'm gonna be like, I guess they wasn't. They probably shaking in their tempers right now. They been really quiet out here. Some schools been really quiet. Ohio State University. Scorecard. This Ohio State is in Columbus, Ohio. Right. Columbus, Ohio. No, they took me to a 2-year. Ohio State University. Yeah, we want the main campus. We don't want the secondary. We want the main campus. So Ohio State University main campus. Right now, they say they have an 81% graduation rate. That's higher than the 4-year midpoint of 58%. They say their average annual cost for the school year is 18 grand. Now we're going to fact check that. And they said for people who receive financial aid after 10 years removed from the school, usually have an income starting at about 60,000. I believe it. I believe it. That sounds about right. But the average annual cost being 18 a year, that don't sound right. That don't sound right. Let's see. Ohio State. We don't care about your football. Personally, I don't care about your football. But I do care if you let me come tour that stadium or something, you know? Like, let me come check out that school, though. So, I like that red, too. Like, one of my goals, though, like when I get done with school, is to start collecting hoodies. And, like, hoodies of colleges. So, we really want that. But more of all the affordable schools, So we might miss out on some dope hoodies because they might not be affordable. So their undergraduate fees that began summer 2024 and after, let's see. Let's see, select the different, whoa. See, look, they making this very complicated. Just show me the tuition for credit hour and I'll be on my way. I will be on my way. But it's okay, I think it's right here. As I'm looking, they do make people do it. I don't know why they do this to people. They make it tough. Ohio State University. I don't really want your archives. I want your pricing. It might be on the side. Graduate tuition and fees. No. It should be. Oh, here it go. 2024. Why would they say 2024 autumn? Like, just say fall, but fall, spring. At least they don't have the updated version on here. They just start from 2024. We can rock out with that though. So right now you're looking at per semester flat rate. They just showing the fees. They're not showing, but pretty much when you take a 12, all right, it's right here. When you take a 12 to 18 credit hour, you're looking at, is that accurate, guys? Are you sure you want to say just instructional fee? So, boom, 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 degrees, 1,000. They just showing the fees. I get that the fees are $6,000. Yeah, $6,000. But what about the tuition? And let's all put that together with the tuition. $6,000. So $6,000, we're going to say, well, if that's how y'all have it on here, I'm going to say $6,000 per semester. Usually, if I called them, they would say that. But in this case, it's looking like $6,000 for total cost. Right here, I'm looking at the chart. So $6,000, and then their room and board, because most students will stay on the main campus for room and board. You're looking at, I don't think they have, I think that's a separate category. Dorms. What about dorms? What are dorms? No. So usually that's $6,000 though. So we can already say $6,000 times two, that's $12,000. To keep it simple, keep things simple. And I know for sure times two, yeah, $12,000. And I know for sure if I add on a simple room, a simple dorm, that's an extra $2,000 to $3,000. So that $6,000 is gonna go up from easily 2,000. At the on the low end, that would be 2,000 at this school, but 2,000, and then plus a dining facility plan, about $2,000, 2 to 3, usually $2 to 3 grand, depending on which plan you get, of course. So they already saying right there, we're just throwing another, just to be generous for them. I'm gonna say 2,500 because I know they plans go probably higher than that. Just looking at that stadium, 2,500. So times two, that's about 10,500. I really think it's more than this, but 10,500 times two is 21,000 for the year, which I feel is accurate because their tuition and fees is already 6,000, and that's their last year price. And we know they're going to raise it by this Ohio, but schools been raising their tuition and fees by 2 to 5% easily, and they always raise their dorms and stuff by 2 to 5% as well. So that is pretty expensive. It's off by a little bit. Why you took me to the University of Registrar? What about housing? I want to look for it right quick. I be enjoying this, guys. I'm sorry. I be researching these schools' websites. It's all public information. Oh, oh. Hold on, wait. Housing and residential education. Oh, they called it education. We almost there. Yep, right here. Standard housing rates. Ooh, you have to really dig to find this. All right, so they're saying the first rate for the housing, I was off by like 3 grand. The rate for the first one is this. Can I highlight that? Whoa, rate one. All right, so they did it backwards. Rate three is the lowest, and then it goes from rate one is the highest. Such a good marketing tactic. So this is the highest. For Ohio State. Oh, I didn't even see y'all say this. Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't know y'all said. I didn't even know y'all comment. I feel bad. I was really looking. Alice Marie said, "Oh wow, I see that now. I will consider New York University or Yale. Fully funded is great." Oh, okay. And then G said they make it tough because that's the last thing they want you to see. LOL. Exactly. So Ohio State, this is their rate. This is their highest like for Housing. This is their highest. 5 grand. This is their lowest. This is their lowest. And on top of that, their tuition and fees is 6 grand. So easily right there, guys. If you like anything, but if you on the lowest end plus the 6 grand, right? I'm gonna clear this out. 6 grand plus on the lowest end. I'm gonna just round that to 4,000 because yeah. On the lowest end, you looking at 10,000 right now, and that doesn't include your dining, like your dining facility. And you just say times two, you're looking at 20 grand. So it's kind of accurate on the college scorecard, except they said 18 grand. I guess they're like, if you get financial aid, it might discount it, or scholarship might discount it a little bit. But you can't count on that, right? Especially all of the, what's that word? All of the events happening today right now. You can't really count on a scholarship discount, more say. So yeah, it's pretty expensive. The school is pretty expensive. But they say you can make about 60 grand for median earnings after 10 years being removed. Yeah, I guess. But if we do 20 times 4, we didn't add the dining facility. If we do 20 times 4, that's 80 grand right there. So I don't know. I know I wouldn't. I'll wait to say that for the end. Their retention rate is 94%. No. Their students who return after the first year is 94%. 81% graduates. We said that. The financial aid and debt. Students get about 20 grand when they graduate, which makes sense because it costs about 20 grand. Like we just said, it costs about 20 grand per semester if you stay on campus. So you should walk out with 20 grand or more when you graduate. That's crazy. Typical earnings. We talked about that. Campus diversity. Like I said, if you're interested in campus diversity, always check that out because some schools are known for that. And they have a 51% acceptance rate. That's pretty high. There's one kid in the military I know of. He actually was at this school, but he didn't finish. He dropped out to go to the military, of course, because I met him. He actually dropped out to go to the military. And so 51% acceptance rate. How I rate this school would have to be like a C minus, only because I don't like G said, they're known for football, really heavily for football. We see them on TV a lot, so that might be the only reason why they still even considered to be Ohio State. Could be wrong. Let's ask Google. All right, quick. Usually when you type in Ohio State University real quick, they tell us they're Noble alumni. So let's see who their Noble alumni are. It's probably gonna be a football player that pop up. No, Jack Nicholas, Kurt Herberstreet, I probably said that right. Roy Lichtenstein, George Steinbrenner. Who is George Steinbrenner? He's a very long name. Roy. He's an artist. Oh yeah. He's a pop artist. I didn't know he went to Ohio State University. So look, fun fact. I learned about this guy right here. I'm gonna put him in the chat. He is very good. He started pop art, actually, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. This guy here, I learned about him at my 2-year because I wasn't writing the article. I had to take an art class and I had to study artists. And I was like, that name looks very familiar. It's kind of cool. I remember him because I wasn't, thinking I was gonna remember. He did a lot of pop art. And so, yeah, he okay. I know he went to Ohio State. Okay. Yeah, Jesse Owens went to Ohio State University. Okay. Who else? For my NBA people out there, Mike Conley, Greg Oden. Okay. Bob Knight, legendary head coach. Okay. Who else up here I know? AJ Hawk. I didn't know that. Lex Wexner. Don't know who that is. Who's this? I'm gonna look and see now if y'all got some Noble alumni. This guy's an American businessman right here. He was a partner in the Major League New York Yankees. Okay. All right, so they got some Noble alumni, A lot of athletes, but Urban Meyer, another football head coach. So, and he's from New York City. Oh, you know about him too? Okay, okay. Yeah, I know him. I also learned about him in art. Yeah, he's very popular, man. Like, I think anybody who take art, you have to learn about him. And so, yeah, Roy. I just hope I ain't pronounce. I know Lichtenstein. I think that's how you say it. Liechtenstein. I know I had a tough time pronouncing it then, still do now. So Ohio State is about a C minus. They're like the University of Colorado. They got the sports heavy programs generating revenue. So I don't never want a school to fail personally, but if your prices are very expensive, but if you're not producing new heavyweights to come into the world from your school, too much I can't say on it. C minus. I wouldn't go there. Maybe if I transfer there. The only way I transfer to a school like this, the second pronunciation was right. Appreciate you, G. And so, appreciate that. Because y'all know my wordplay is getting there one day. No shame about it. And the only way I would go here to Ohio State University is if I transferred from a 2-year. And like I said before, some 2-year schools have it where when you transfer from there, you can still get charged the same 2-year rate at a university. And so I didn't get that deal, unfortunately. Some schools do that, which is a great deal. But definitely see if you want to go to the Ohio State University, see what 2-year has a articulation agreement with them. Because if that 2-year has an articulation agreement with them, that would save you so much money, $10,000 and more, right? And so, and at the end of the day, you still get to go to a very so-called prominent school. So, always consider that. And they are a land grant institution. I would have to refresh myself on a land grant institution because land grant institution is related, like, if I'm not mistaken, this school should have, I'm gonna look at this real quick. The Ohio State should have some curriculum. They should have some majors here that have agriculture in it. Usually when I see land grant school, it should have like agriculture in the school. Yeah, like right here, they have School of Environment and Natural Resources. And that's a science-based exploration and problem solving, enabling students to foster environmental sustainability and resource management across Ohio and beyond. Right here, they have College of Food, Agriculture, and Environmental Sciences. So with land grant institutions, you can't get that at every school. Like when I went to Valdosta State University, we didn't have, at least I know of, we didn't have agriculture as a major. You could take like geology classes or join clubs, but they didn't offer like agriculture classes. So that's a really like agriculture is always important. Like, land is important. If you want to learn how land really works, agriculture is the place to be, right? Unless you was brought up on a farm, then you just know about it. So that's pretty much it. Great live stream. It's not a live stream unless we have people like G and Alex Marie in the chat all the time. So appreciate you all. And tomorrow is Saturday and Sunday. So we'll be back Monday. And Ohio State is also in the top 25 for endowment. G, you Google that. Some of this stuff you be coming out, I'm just like, are you Googling? I don't mind you being a researcher and all, but you just knew that? You just knew that, G? And so I didn't know that either, though. Ohio State, G said, so for everybody, if you play this back, G said Ohio State is also in the top 25 for endowments. Everybody likes Ohio, right? So we'll be back Monday. and Columbia is like in the top 15. You just had to throw that in there. Well, my school's like in the top one. My school like in the top one, G. I'm not gonna say which one of them, but they're like in the top one. But on the serious note, I'll see you Monday, everybody Monday, and we'll be right back at it. Peace.